here we are, game number 2. Nice. So do you think that MONGOLZ still has got some way to revive themselves and maybe force a game number 3?
There's always an opportunity, Wolf. There's always a way, you know. I feel like we've seen that many times. We've seen teams, you know, even in consideration to the matchups, like let's say the underdogs facing elimination, we've always seen that potential to go ahead and surprise even ourselves and of course the audience out there. And the MONGOLZ, I think if they want to do that, if they want to potentially go ahead and get to a game 3 against Team Spirit, and you know, we said all this stuff about Team Spirit yesterday, how strong and how much XP they had, especially internationally. And then, you know, like, I think people were probably surprised at the way that Team Spirit played yesterday. So they just seem to been able to fix those mistakes from yesterday. And hopefully the MONGOLZ can do that just from game 1. Now, one of the biggest things, again, is, you know, maybe pick up a traditional marksman. Maybe the Freya was just an attempt. It unfortunately didn't work out at all. I didn't get to see anything with the Freya that I was hoping to see, man. You know, and we were waiting for it to be picked up yesterday. Unfortunately, nothing really happened with it. And so maybe that is one of the cases. But also, I feel like, in a sense, you just got to be able to control the game a little bit better as a whole. Shenlin had a difficult time, you know, really trying to set things up in that roam position. This Grok being picked up first pick, though, blue side by Team Spirit, is a strong pick. Even though Grok technically had a change on the patch, he's still strong as ever. You know, the tech charge, that ult alone with the walls, like the ramparts, you can't really beat that, you know, and definitely something they're going to have to look out for. This would be interesting if they actually pick up a Diggy, though. It's been forever since we've seen Diggy come through.
Yeah, I doubt they will be the case, though, because there are still valid options right here. I think you want to get the Lancelot again for MONGOLZ. Eventually, you would look for Alice or Uranus for the MONGOLZ. There it is. So then the Lunox, obviously, it's one of the heroes that can be picked up in the mid lane. That can also be flexed into the gold lane. So pretty open draft here coming up from the MONGOLZ. But for Team Spirit, they can just go back to what works, right? The Kimi is pretty strong. Kimi and the Grok, such a solid combo. He can set up so many kills because of the Rampart that can be coupled up with the damage output of this Kimi. There's so much combos that you can also use, like a tech charge into a traction pulse. There's just great synergy between the Grok as well as the Kimi, so I think that will be the case. Fredrin is the choice here, which is interesting because it really counts as a utility jungler, which is quote-unquote a tank, but it does not suffer that much against the Lunox because technically the HP of the Fredrin is not high enough for the Lunox to be that impactful.
Yeah, I like the fact that, you know, Team Spirit, they have the Fredrin and the Grok alone. Like, that's your whole front line and back line protection that you need. That's all you pretty much need at that point. But the synergy between the Grok, the Fredrin, plus the Kimi, we've seen this so many times, man, you know, and it allows you, like, even the Fredrin and Kimi alone allows you to catch people out. And if, let's say, a Divine Judgment gets through, the MONGOLZ picks a target and gets someone, okay, it's not going to be the Kaja. Either way, you know, you have an answer to go ahead and catch people or peel for whoever you need to from Team Spirit, depending even on these next 2 picks. But already this is a solid first phase. You know, you've got great damage output, you got great sustainability, tankiness here, and maybe that's what the MONGOLZ are planning. You know, they go and actually, interesting enough, they ban out the Beatrix. I wasn't expecting a Beatrix ban, but again, this is Hiko, right? Hiko, historically, he's had some good performances on Beatrix, the Wan, and the Granger, you know, the traditional marksmen are used to seeing. So I think they want to get a favorable matchup this time for Rinks. If you ask me, one of the things that they could improve on too from the last game and their other series yesterday, it's allowing Rinks to get to his actually online status as a marksman, as a gold laner. You know, like, he hasn't had too many opportunities where he was able to do that. Even yesterday, I believe if I recall correctly, he played, like, you know, the Harith, for example, and he was just kind of shut down in lane. So the Claude might be able to allow him to do that, but the team has to kind of allow Rinks to even get there, you know, and that's just more so of protecting that early game rotation, that early game pressure that Team Spirit has. So their last ban is going to be the Arlot here, taking that away from Kid Bomba.
I think it's good identification coming out from the Mongols because Fredrin Arlet still is one of the strongest combos out there, one of the most viable combos as well. Mongols, I'm actually curious about this Claude because usually, again, the Grok as well as the Fredrin, they have the knockups that can actually make it difficult for a Claude to utilize the Blazing Duet. And especially because there are two sources of knockups, which will cancel the Blazing Duet. You cannot purify everything. So I'm really curious. I think the Claude might be a mistake here for Mongols, but we'll see. We'll see how they will complement it. They're going to be looking for the Roamer now. It should be a way to tank the Kimi as well as the Grok. Getatkacha is always one of the choices here for the Mongols. They need a beefy front line. At the same time, they kind of might look for the Tro because they want... There you go.
On call. Cue. Yeah, on cue.
Yeah. All right, so I think you were looking for a hard carry here for Team Spirit. The one fits the bill. And let's see if they actually do pick up the Edith now. All right. The Mongols going to be looking for probably an assassin. I don't know how Hayabusa actually works. Because they need to really pressure this 1-1. Otherwise, they can just look for maybe an Akai actually could work for the Mongols.
I think Akai, what is left open too? Since Baksha is banned out, it is tough because even with this, again, I think they're going to have a little bit of a difficult time because, you know, even when it comes to the kick, for example, the target acquisition for the kick here, like who are you going to kick? You know, for the most part, you're going to try to get the Kimi, you know, because even if you kick Kid Bomba, he's got Primal Wrath still. You know, you're not going to be really kicking the Grok or the Fredrin, and Hiko is going to have the space to work with. Plus, it's just a 1-1, so it's up Thorn Needles there. This is a glue, though, so this helps put pressure on Hiko in a way. Again, positioning, forcing him to have that positioning on par, or even potentially Sunset Lover. So I don't know. How do we feel about this composition from the Mongols? Do you think this will be enough to get them to a Game 3 against Team Spirit?
Gotta be honest, Naisu. I'll be live. I'd say yes because I feel like this. The curveball that they did was to put the first pick Uranus as their jungler after they picked up the glue. Yes, they do make a lot of sense versus this 1-1. But the thing is, the 1-1 is not the only problem here. I think this Claude will still struggle. They did not put enough heroes to protect this Claude. I would feel like Fredrin as well as the Grok. Maybe individually will not be effective against the Claude, right? Just having the Fredrin is not enough against the Claude. But two of them together, the knockups will be a problem. If you even factor in the potential knockup coming out from Kid Bomba, the suplex, a way of flicker suplex against the Claude that can also work. And Kid Bomba would love to receive the damage from Blazing Duet as Shenlin takes so much damage from Sunset Lover. Yeah, there's so much extra shields and tank ability. The stacks, the passive from this Edith will fill up very easily because of the Claude.
Yeah, I mean, this is going to be the power of this combo with the Kimi and the Grok. And the Mongols is just going to have to kind of, you know, wait for their own opportunity. And you know, that opportunity with this kind of lineup is so built around that level 4, right? You need the kick. Oh, wow, Rinks! First blood? Going to Hiko. I was going to say, even for Rinks, he's going to need time, but whoa! Wait, Kenlin just flickered.
Yeah.
What happened here?
What is happening?
I'm actually not sure what happened, Wolf.
I'm still in shock as how Hiko was able to get the kill on the Claude, but if you recall, this Inspire 1-1 is always a threat against marksmen, and if you draft in a way that you get Inspire on your 1-1, it means that you drafted well and you drafted good. I feel like for the Mongols, they have the tank ability to soak the damage against the 1-1, but you don't really pressure this 1-1. The Claude will not be enough. Lunox is never enough against the 1-1.
Yeah.
And you don't have enough stuns to force the Flowers and Needles for 1-1. The CC immune, the Purify, the semi-Purify that this 1-1 has, there's no one to force it. And that means that you will never be able to kick the 1-1.
Yeah, very difficult to get to them. And that's what I was saying in the draft here. And they'll fight for this turtle, first one of the game. We'll see if they're actually able to go ahead and contest this. The Mongols holding true. Sawo is actually going to be melted down. One shot does get the turtle secured. So still, Sawo actually surviving, utilizing that flicker to stay alive, and they'll just disengage, happy to get the objective and maintain this nearly 1,000 gold lead that they have. Once again, like I said, for Shenlin, he needs to be level 4 to be able to be that threat. You know, yes, you have the Jikondo, you can go ahead and, you know, knock someone in the air, a couple members, but for the most part, like I was saying, this lineup for the Mongols is so built around level 4. But even if you look at Team Spirit's level 4, their threat level is nearly the same, right? But the early game potential is there. You just don't expect there to be an early first blood in the gold lane the way that it was. So now mid lane going to be the focus. One shot jumping in. The flicker is going to be burned by Makey just to make sure that he didn't get energy eruptioned and caught into that mid lane fight.
Kiko, 3-minute corrosion sight. Oh my goodness, is gonna be deadly against the Mongols. They gotta win an objective real soon, and I think that in order for them to win that, Mumu and this glue, the ultimate, is gonna be so instrumental to the upcoming team fights, because he has to be the one to pick who the valid target is, as they force Shenlin out of there.
Yeah, he held on to the flicker, at least for that. They have plenty of time still to kind of get in position for this next turtle. Right now, it's Team Spirit knowing that they're going to go ahead and continue to build up on that lead for Hiko. Again, that early kill kind of helped him up in that lane. You know, he can trade out all he wants with Rinks for now, but with Turtle coming up, I wonder if they're going to actually rotate and join this fight, or if it's just going to be the 4v4. You can see through Mumu up there on the top side dealing with Kid Bomba. But again, Kid Bomba on this Edith is tanky enough, and that's kind of the problem for the Mongols. Like, this is such a tanky front line, and you can see the rotation here for Hiko to make his way for this. Meanwhile, Rinks is going to stay bottom side in that gold lane for now. So numbers advantage right now for Team Spirit. They'll take the turtle to half health. They're going to trade it for that gold down bot. Not sure if he's going to be able to get the turret, though. But that's the gold that Rinks needed. Picks up a DHS off of it. They trade it for the turtle. Team Spirit still maintaining. Now in the mid lane, they're going to force a fight. Anyway, Shenlin gone. Taking the Appraiser's Wrath and now putting that pressure towards the purple buff of the Mongols. And I don't know if that was the move, if that's the play. Rampart thrown up to cut off Makey from this. Zetsu will just go ahead and glide on through that wall. He's going to be fine. Gets his buff. I believe he secured that. And he did, so he's going to be fine. But I'm not sure, man. I don't know where Wolf they're going to find a fight back into this, even though it's early game. What are the Mongols? Is it just going to be Shenlin's kick?
Yeah, unfortunately. That's the only saving grace here for the Mongols. Yeah.
Well,
again, Mumu's grab. That could be important.
That's the kick. Look at Sawo. He's just tanking it up. Brilliance already going to be used too. Sawo dropping down the rampart, but Mumu joining the fight, bringing him back with the split. But Hiko now part of the fight too, looking to get the airtime that he needs right under the turret if he's able to pop it off. And Appraiser's Wrath to follow. There's the crossbow of Tang, and now Zetsu running as well, trying to get away. Mumu the only one to fall, but a lot of flickers used, man. Multiple flickers from the Mongols. Now Hiko and the rest of the team will work on this mid lane. Rinks could be in trouble. Oh, the blazing duet. Unfortunately, getting stopped here, putting pressure on that turret, but they won't be able to get it down, so the Mongols hold on to the mid turret.
While that's happening, Kid Bomba just casually chilling up top. And one shot already forcing so many rotations and gets a lot of steals. In fact, he's leading by 1,000 gold over this Uranus. And then this one is 4.7k compared to 3.9k of his gold lane counterpart. We're talking about how difficult it will be for the Claude to pop the Blazing Duet, and you saw how one shot managed to cancel the Blazing Duet.
Yeah, that's a huge amount of damage just kind of gone. And any of the team fights that does happen. Makey here on this side, gonna go ahead and spawn out Sawa. I'm not sure if they're gonna try to make a play. There's the kick, Way the Dragon, Shenlin going for one shot. But the rest of the team, there's Sawa with a big charge coming through. And it's Zetsu that falls. Now Hiko be able to get a couple shots off Mumu, but won't continue forward. This turtle's for the taking. Third one of the game. Team Spirit will secure this. and get ready to start knocking down some more turrets. Tier 1 of the mid still standing. They should get this shortly, but man, this is scaling just completely for Team Spirit.
But they're not stopping. They're continuously making the plays. Team Spirit are forcing the issue against MONGOLZ, not letting them breathe. Zetsu is just level 8. There could be a retry battle, which Fredrin will definitely win unless there is a good kick, but unfortunately wasn't the case.
Oh, Shenlin, is he gonna? He can. Okay, he does escape. He had to pop his flicker though. Attraction pulse. Oh, thrown out. Yeah. I thought that'd catch him, but again, a whole lot used. You know, he did escape, but you don't have that flicker now. And like I said, a majority of this is just going to go off that potential.
Yep. Primal Wrath for a flicker. That's going to be enough as Pranty Hellcurt pops the ultimate. We are back again. They're not stopping. 8 minutes in, and they have been playing on the side of the jungle for Mongol side of the jungle. I mean, Mongols have not been maximizing the farm that they have in their first 8 minutes. Everything's getting taken away from them, and Team Spirit are just taking over this game. This is a brutal massacre coming out from Team Spirit.
Yeah. Massive lead already at this point in the game. You know, 9-minute mark already. Waiting for that Lord to come up in about 30 seconds. And I don't know, I'm kind of worried here for the Mongols. I don't know if they're in even a close fighting position at all to contest this at all, Wolf. I mean, they're lacking the firepower that they need, and a lot of the team fights that do break out, it's, you know, Rinks doesn't have that window that he needs, that he's looking for.
Rinks is forced to pop the ultimate just to get out.
Oof.
And now everybody's just suffering from Team Spirit's offense right now. They're literally not stopping. This orange buff on the side of Team Spirit, the bottom lane, you can see that that has been on for, I don't know, maybe 3, 5, 4, or 5 minutes now. Team Spirit, they're not taking their own buffs. They're taking over MONGOLZ buffs.
I'll take everything I need. Team Spirit's been doing that all series long, and the MONGOLZ just doesn't seem to have an answer for it. Hiko getting a little more range now. Malefic Gun picked up. Very similar performance this time around for Hiko on the back-to-back 1-1 games, and just, you know, it's great. Team Spirit, they learned from their game yesterday. They still give Hiko that opportunity to go ahead and make things happen. There's a kick, though. Kid Bomba and kicked towards the turret, but it doesn't matter because there's no follow-through from the MONGOLZ. Holy Shield is going to be the next target here from Team Spirit. Knock up into the air for Zetsu. He pops the Consecration, but the damage is too much as Sunset Lover will take him out of the picture. And now first Shield's going to go down here on that bottom side as the Lord makes its way towards the lane. Shields in the mid pop as well. The tier 2 still stands on the top side, but Team Spirit might just go for an end angle here if they can find it with 2 down. Makey back up. Base turret going to be worked on. The MONGOLZ trying to do what they can. Rinks jumping in towards Sunset Lover, already using that Blazing Duet. They're not going to have that for this fight. This Team Spirit ended here. Makey gone in an instant, just taken out. Appraiser's Wrath going to be dropped down. The base has already taken some damage. Mumu trying to do his best to hold it together, and they're going to force the fight under this all. Lord finally worked on. Zetsu taking his own, but the minion waves will go ahead and spawn up. Now Team Spirit can just take down the mid turret as the MONGOLZ with 3 will go ahead and defend the best they can here. Sao not part of the picture, but they're going to force this one once again. Hiko trying to find the airtime that he needs if he can get it. Once that ultimate's up, they could change the tide of this fight. Picks up a rose gold. Shenlin trying to keep them together. Picks up, but he falls, and now Hiko once again getting another. The Blazing Duet helps, but they stayed forever into this base. They might be able to find a window, but a crossbow of Tang keeps Hiko alive, but the MONGOLZ will defend.
Mumu would have taken down the 1-1, but Zetsu just went just a pixel too near this 1-1 that allowed the 1-1 to pop the ultimate, and he actually escaped Mumu. A little bit of a misplay there coming out from Zetsu. And Momo's gonna be scratching his head over that. Fortunately for the Mongols, they survived. But unfortunately, at 12 minutes in, they will have to look at an 11,000 gold lead of Team Spirit without their two turrets, the mid lane and the bottom lane. And this is a 10k gold worth for Hiko. Almost item locked. Technically speaking, he's actually item locked because he does not have any boots right now. So that's like 5 items that he can smash in front of the Mongols.
I'm not sure if they're going to force this turret down. They know the Lord's coming up. They know that if the Mongols approaches this, then they're just going to go ahead and take that team fight to them with that kind of power advantage when it comes to the items. They can do it if they want to. I just don't know if the Mongols are willing to. Yeah, they don't even get a chance. It's blitz. Look at the bottom side, though. The gold lane. Rinks is all by himself, and Hiko
Oh my god.
just travels on down, picks up an easy kill against Rinks. Not sure what the play was there, if he just wanted to get some extra gold, clear things out, but man, with the speed that Team Spirit's able to move around the map, you don't want to be caught by yourself. So now, without their gold laner, he has quite a bit of time to come back up here. They're down a massive part of this lineup. Hiko's going to go ahead and take a couple shots here at Mumu. The waves are going to be pushing in into the mid with the Lord. This is a huge end angle, and Team Spirit sees the win in sight. They'll go ahead, take it a little bit further against the Mongols, but they'll sweep the series 2-0.
A decisive win once again coming out from Team Spirit. But this time I think there were some problems with the draft choices of the Mongols. Unfortunately, that will be the end of the line. No way anymore for the Mongols to defend themselves out of that draft. It was a 2-0 for Team Spirit as they eliminate the Mongols. It was off of the back of their draft, but at the same time, they played so well. Hiko getting the first blood, redeeming himself from yesterday's demise. And of course, the one-shot Fredrin, ever so oppressive in this game. Sunset Lover was on point with Akimi as well, winning the lane and of course being also aggressive. But one-shot just playing this game and making the members of Mongols like puppets on a string. The moment that he felt that he can play on the opposite end of the jungle, he did not stop. He did not leave the domicile of the Mongols, even skipping his own orange buff to get the purple and orange buff of the other side. That's how good he was with the Fredrin and how he knew, identified that he can actually easily take over the game with that. Man of the hour, though, is Hiko. 7-0-3 with this 1-1 back-to-back games. Dominant fashion, winning in the lane and converting in the team fights, escaping death so many times with a 7-0-3 KD.